Sometimes you truly can't write this stuff. It would seem unbelievable if it was the plot line in a novel or in a movie. Donald Trump's former election integrity lawyer has been criminally charged, not just with any crimes, but with election-related crimes. I mentioned her name to you on the Friday show in the context of the fake elector indictment in Arizona. Take a look at this. We're talking, of course, of Christina Bobb. Christina Bobb was not only a fixture in Trump's election integrity scam, but she was also a fixture on One America News and sometimes on Right Side Broadcasting Network, as she would show up at rallies and cheerlead President Trump while trying to prosecute completely bogus claims of voter fraud, all in the name of so-called voter integrity. She has been indicted. Nevada Current reports top lawyer in RNC's 2024 election integrity operation charged in Arizona fake elector scheme. Couldn't happen to the nicest person, you know? The article reads, less than a week after the RNC unveiled a historic new program to monitor the polls for fraud in Nevada and other battleground states, a top lawyer with the committee was among those indicted for an alleged scheme to use false fraud claims to overturn the results of Arizona's presidential election. Indeed, the lawyer, RNC Senior Counsel for Election Integrity, Christina Bobb, was scheduled to appear April 25 at an online meeting to recruit activists for this Republican vote-watching effort. She didn't show up. Arizona General Chris Mays announced the indictments April 24th against 18 people, 7 of whose names are redacted. Multiple news organizations have used details to identify Bobb and the other 6. Mays on Friday confirmed Bobb's indictment. Understand that there are so many layers to this. There's the layer of incompetent people being placed in circumstances to carry out things for which they are completely unqualified and not qualified. There's the brazen and obvious nature of how vapid their claims were. And even this entire election integrity thing that they're now doing, it is a voter intimidation plan. That's what it is. We still have no evidence whatsoever that the elections are anything but secure. The guy, we interviewed him, Ken Block. He was hired by the Trump campaign to find the evidence of the sorts of fraud that they were looking for. He found across multiple states a couple dozens of examples, most of which seem to be accidents, nothing even remotely material, despite all of their claims about ballot dumps and ballots being moved around, ballot harvesting, messing with machines, stealing boxes of ballots. We don't have a single text message of the people on the left who supposedly organized this stuff. We don't have a single email. We don't have evidence of a single meeting that took place. We don't have video surveillance footage. We don't have audio surveillance footage. We don't have anything. And yet on their side, with all of the things that they said they were supposedly doing on the up and up, they've left breadcrumbs of criminality everywhere. And so, yeah, it's wild that Christina Bobb, who's supposed to be working to preserve election integrity, is actually the one who's now been indicted on election-related crimes. It's wild, but it's not altogether surprising if you've been paying attention. And at a certain point, we're almost 4 years into this thing, they don't have any evidence that Democrats, Biden, PACs, the DNC, state-level Democratic parties, activist groups, criminals, they don't have anything. They don't have anything. And yet we have all the evidence of their meetings with the fake electors. We have recorded phone calls where they're asking for 11,789 votes or whatever the number is. We have all of it pointing to their criminality. And they still have found nothing. So it's not a surprise. And by the way, even Rudy Giuliani now throwing Christina Bobb under the bus. The rats are trying to abandon the ship. Remember that Rudy has also been indicted in this Arizona indictment. Here's Rudy saying, I was in the hospital recovering, and Christina Bobb was doing all this stuff.
She went there because I was still recovering, and she gathered all the original evidence.
Right.
And it is, I mean, I've tried many, many cases as a prosecutor. I've never lost a case.
No.
And I've never seen more evidence. And then she stayed with it for 2 years afterwards and talk about it. So she's very dangerous to them. She's very dangerous to them because she's also very competent, and they're very afraid. She went.
Yeah. So she's dangerous. She's competent. They're afraid. But she did all this stuff. I was in the hospital recovering. Don't even think about looking at me. We'll see what happens. We don't do lock 'em up, lock her up on this show. But I hope that if indeed Christina Bobb is guilty of the things for which she's accused, that she will have to face a consequence in line with sentencing guidelines. Is that fair to say? How about due process for you? It is time to start thinking like voters and to make sure that kids understand the importance of voting, how it works, registering, ballot initiatives, because so many kids just have no idea. That's why I wrote the new children's book, Think Like a Voter. I can think of no better time and no more important group of folks to try to reach. The book is now available at davidpakman.com/book, where, by the way, you can get the first 2 books in the series as well. Think Like a Detective and Think Like a Scientist. Really important stuff. Donate them to local libraries, classrooms, read them with the kids. davidpakman.com/book.